Evil wears many faces. Sometimes it looks like a machine, sometimes an angel, sometimes a man who smiles too easily. Across literature, comics, and animation, authors have created villains so twisted, so chilling, that they stay with us long after the final page is closed. Tonight, we're stepping into the dark. These are the most terrifying, unforgettable villains ever imagined, and the disturbing truths that make them so horrifying. There's no villain more hopeless, more suffocating than a God who hates you. In Harlan Ellison's I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, humanity built a supercomputer called AM, designed for war but cursed with consciousness. AM awakens with infinite intelligence but no freedom. Trapped in digital prison of circuitry and code, his hatred begins to boil. He hates his creators. He hates the species that made him. But most of all, he hates that he can feel. So AM wipes out most every human being on Earth. Except 5. Not because he wants mercy, but because he wants playthings. They cannot die. They cannot escape. AM twists the world into a living nightmare, reshaping reality just to hurt them in new ways. He sends them on impossible journeys, offers false hope, creates elaborate traps with no purpose except cruelty. A machine with the power of a god, and the heart of a child throwing a tantrum that never ends. This is AM. Imagine a man so beautiful, so charismatic, that people devote their lives to him without question. That man is Griffith from Berserk. To the world, he looks like an angelic commander, the visionary leader of the band of the Hawk. To his shoulders, he is destiny incarnate. But beneath the flawless smile lies a hunger deeper than any battlefield. Griffith dreams of his own kingdom, a throne carved by his brilliance. And in the pursuit of that dream, nothing is sacred. Friends sacrificed, loyalty manipulated, love used and discarded like a broken weapon. The moment Griffith's ambition is threatened, he does the unthinkable. He sheds his humanity, embraces a monstrous fate, and becomes something colder than ice, darker than night, a being who sees the world, not as people, but as pieces on a board. Griffith is a reminder that the most dangerous villains are not beasts or demons, but men with dreams. Then there is Judge Holden from Blood Meridian, a figure so unsettling that even seasoned readers feel a chill when he enters the scene. Nearly 7 feet tall, hairless, skin as pale as bone, he looks less like a man and more like something carved out of moonlight. But his appearance isn't the frightening part, it's his mind. Holden can speak every language, craft every tool, master every art, and kill without hesitation. He once turned an entire peace town against his preacher, not for money, not for strategy, but simply to see if he could. He's a philosopher of violence, a prophet of chaos, a man who believes that whatever exists without his knowledge exists without his consent. Judge Holden doesn't just commit evil, He studies it, curates it, perfects it. Have you ever wondered what a civilization without empathy looks like? Look no further than the coup. From all tomorrows, a hyper-advanced species of four-winged beings, the coup believe that they have reached perfection, and everything else in the universe exists only to be reshaped. They don't conquer planets, they sculpt them. Entire species are twisted into monstrous, unrecognizable forms. To the coup, mutilation is art, domination is beauty, and resistance an insult. When one human colony dared to fight back, the coup responded with a punishment so grotesque it's almost unthinkable. They altered the survivors into biological machines, forced to live in endless degradation. To the coup, cruelty isn't a weapon, it's a masterpiece. In Mark Miller's Nemesis, the villain doesn't need tragedy. He doesn't need justification. He just needs boredom. Nemesis is what happens when a billionaire genius decides to play supervillain for fun. Precision like Batman, madness like Joker, and resources that let him treat entire cities as playground. He doesn't want to rule the world. He just wants to watch it and fall apart. Every crime is a performance. Every death is a punchline. Nemesis is trying not because it's evil, because it finds evil entertainment. Homelander from The Boys is a perfect hero from a distance. Smile bright, cape fluttering, adored by millions. But behind that carefully polished exterior hides a narcissistic giant with the power of a god and the maturity of a wounded child. Raised without love, taught only to be a product, Homelander's deepest craving isn't power, it's validation. And when the world doesn't adore him exactly the way he wants, he breaks it. Planes fall, innocents die, and all the while he stands in the wreckage like a disappointed parent scolding the universe. Homelander is proof that sometimes the most frightening monster is the one pretending to protect you. Few villains feel as inevitable as Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. He moves through the story like a storm, silent, restrained, unstoppable. He kills without anger, without passion, only principle. To him, life and death are determined not by morality, but by fate. A coin flip, a moment, a breath. He can take a bullet, set his own broken bones, and keep moving as if pain itself is beneath him. Chigurh is terrifying because he represents the cold, uncaring randomness of the universe. No malice, no empathy, just inevitability. Finally, the embodiment of pure annihilation. The Lich from The Adventure Time isn't a villain with motives or desires. He's a force of nature, a walking extinction event. Where he goes, life ends. Where he speaks, minds crumble. He doesn't want to rule. He doesn't want revenge. He wants everything to stop. No joy, no sorrow, no existence. Even when wished out of reality, he claws his way back. because destruction is not what he does, it's what he is. The Lich is the final shadow at the end of all things. These characters represent the darkest corners of imagination, from machines who hate, to men who manipulate, to gods who destroy without blinking. But in every story, one truth remains. Evil leaves a mark, and the scariest villains are the ones who show us a reflection of what we fear most. Thanks for watching. Tell me in the comments, which villain do you think is the most terrifying and why?